Okay. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. In the Jewish world, there was a fast over the weekend. So it was a really personal time, as it's basically like a day where you don't eat for around 24 hours. And it's more about your relationship to God, or our God, which is Hashem. And there's a lot of meaning to the day, and it's about building your relationship more. So if you're out there and you were fasting, I hope that it went well for you. And if you decided not to or you couldn't, I wish you well, however you decide to do the day. Um, you know, Thinking about this, it actually, and today's topic, it actually reminded me of a transition point when I was after my divorce, which actually happened to be a transition time, also of another growth time in business, where growth was hard because it's usually built from cash flow, but sometimes that you need to borrow money or debt or have some type of leverage so that you can grow faster, and also knowing how to leverage it. So today's topic is from debt to growth and how therapists can build capital and still move forward. In case you are new to this group, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to have you. What we do is we come in here weekly and we talk about a topic that is near and dear to our therapists' hearts, in terms of like what's going on and what we see as the pattern of what's happening. In case you are new here, again, just to talk a little bit about me, I was rated CFO top strategist for a number of years in a row. I founded Heartfelt CFO and tax services so I can guide mental health owners around business tax and all of the in between. And these new words seem to come about where people have spoken about me in terms of being like a financial interpreter, business therapist, and strategy whisperer. So, not your typical accountant. But the goal here is to help you build knowledge and skills that will help you build your practice beyond your wildest dreams. So, why does this topic matter? Debt isn't just financial, it's emotional. I've watched a lot of people, including myself, at a time when I would be, let's say, a little bit behind on credit cards, or watch our clients be overwhelmed in debt, that what it really would do to them. And people would automatically feel that it's a self reflection of doing something bad or wrong or not doing enough, and all of those sorts of things. And what we have to learn to do is how to understand how our body is reacting and working from that, in order to see how to work from debt from like a strategy standpoint, because a strategy scales. Emotional intelligence, what will happen is that it's going to break you down and even drain you. So, signs that you're stuck in the debt cycle: you're always waiting for extra money before planning. You think the next scale or the next client that's going to sign on is going to be the answer to everything. Avoiding your numbers until you're absolutely necessary. It's probably the number one common habit that comes in, where people are avoiding, or they think it's not for them, or because they're not too big, they think they're too small, and all of these things. It comes from all sorts of ways. And then feeling like you can't grow until you're debt free. Margot, I'm just going to get in charge of my debt. I'm going to get ahead of it. And then you're going to be the first that I'm going to call. However, you won't get ahead of debt unless you do have somebody like myself and my team to help you. And I say this to say that getting out of our own way is really the main reason. So let's reframe debt. And debt doesn't mean failure, it means you made decisions with the information that you had. So it's the best decision at the time that you were able to do things. Okay. I want to say that again. When we made the decision to take on debt or to buy something, it was the best decision we made at the time. So I had a client one time when they were signing on. What happened is that we were looking through the purchases, and it was something that this client of ours, of a mental health practice, of what they really wanted to do, but they never did it. And it was like a $5,000 fee towards some type of certification. Now, this certification ended up being a core part of who they were. It was almost like a core value of how they believe, but they just couldn't put the time because all of these different things were spiraling. But once we started to manage things and reframe it, it really had like a whole different meaning. And it really became one of the basis of offerings for the clients, for this client of ours for their practice. So growth is possible while managing debt. And not all debt is bad. And even if it is bad, as long as you're on top of it and doing all of the things, is where this formula and the growth starts to happen. So, what is working capital? Working capital is breathing room, or it could be, liquidity. Sometimes people have all these different names. So, if you pay your bills and then you have money left over, then that's working capital, that's breathing room. I remember when at different points in my business, when I did not have the breathing room, and it would basically be dollar for dollar. And what would happen is that there would be resistance or there would be delays, to pay things simply because I was worried like it was going to run out. And this is when I was like almost 20 years ago, when I was thinking a lot, when I was, my basis or my core was from strategy, was from scarcity and from lack, and not making a decision from overflow and feeling abundant and having that abundant feeling every day, all day, and really embodying it. So if you're making decisions from that, chances are you're coming from lack and from scarcity and not from a decision that is your future vision of your business. This is why making a business plan is just so freaking dang important. It's the money you have available to run your business. It's not just what's in the account today. What's in the account today is not your working capital, because you have bills that need to be taken care of as well. Payroll, so outside salaries and all of these things. So why does it matter? It protects you during your slow months. So when clients are slowed down, like I was on the call last week and somebody was telling me a number of cancellations because of summer vacations and things like that, or people just wanted time off. And it became like, I don't know, maybe like 8 private sessions, which is a lot. Gives you space to rest or take leave. So all of these types of things, when we realize in our business of what's causing us stress or strife, is what we need to put into this formula to make it your own. So we have a different client that's working on time off in December. We have a different client that is working on, they're going on vacation for 2 weeks and they want complete paid time where it's not even an issue. So building for that. Now, this gets mixed up into where clients feel like if they were working for somebody else, they'd get paid days off and all of these things. But what you give up to work for somebody else versus yourself, it's never going to scale. It's never going to equal out. If anything, it's never going to balance in such a way that you're going to give from one thing and take from another. And it's just going to be like confundo. So, it matters also because it gives you time to make strategic decisions without panic. So sometimes we need that panic to plan, and what will happen is that it'll just make it better in the future. But because a lot of you have come from W-2 jobs or maybe another practice where they had to worry about these things and take this on, you're trying to make the formula for your business and your future. So when you have that space to rest and take to leave, what happens is that you get that room, and different things happen when you operate that way. So how to build capital while paying. Set a baseline buffer amount. So what will happen is that, let's say, I don't know, you have like $5,000 and then the minimum payment is like $100. Maybe you'll pay like 500 a month or like 250 a month or 350 a month. You basically have a plan. So you take how many months that you want, sorry about that. How many months you want to pay it off, you divide that by the total, and that's it. Just put it on auto pay. That's it. Don't make it like this whole emotional thing. Like we have one client who's paying now off some debt. And what we did was, actually they did the plan. And what I did was really curate it and say, set it and forget it. Meaning like put it on auto pay. We know how much that the baseline is in terms of like the bank account, which is like a different part of the conversation. And that's it. The debt is under control. And it's not necessarily around, doing enough, like where it's going to come into play with decisions. This is what we did in terms of the debt, and that's it. So don't wait for all the debt to be gone before saving. It can be done simultaneously. What to avoid? Paying off debt too aggressively without building reserve. So mainly feeling like, it's unsafe. So if you're going debt -0 and then you don't have money for food or your cell phones and things like that, that's too aggressive. Using a credit card to float monthly expenses, eventually that's going to pay off. So you're coming out of one red light into like another red light. We don't want to do that. Instead, choose moderate action, so progression over perfection. Delaying important hires or investments due to fear. Choose one. If there's an important hire, let's do that. An important investment, let's do that. But coming from the place of knowing and trusting yourself versus doing it because you feel like you have to or somebody's telling you. So, for instance, we have a client who likes to be told what to do, and they want to do a lot of future talking. But at the same time, with the future talking, their day to day was very at stake. And a client of ours would even say, like, oh my God, like if I go into Target, I can't even buy like the basics of like underwear and socks and da 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 da, all of these things. And they would really want answers on like retirement, buying a house, and these big things. But if your day to day is so stressful that you're not meeting your needs, these bigger things can't be on your hand. They can't be on your head or your hands, like either of them. Okay. So, delaying important decisions of things of that nature, we want to prioritize. And let's get real with ourselves. When you meet yourself where you're at and you get real with yourself, none of this is going to be an issue. It's progress over perfection. So here are some shifts and the big impact. Check your numbers monthly, or if you're Margot, she does them daily. Separate business and personal finances, because for me at this point, it's nothing. It's a few minutes and that's it. But a lot of our clients, it's also a few minutes where they know their ups and downs, and that's it. It's not like an intimidation where it's holding like all of this headspace. They know where they need to be, and that's what they're working on. Prioritize peace and not just paying off. So now that we just talked about that plan of how to pay down debt, you're more at peace because you have a plan and it's under control. And as long as your numbers stay in line with where you usually are, that you can cover these debits, you just keep going. So I want to help you, and I want you to make space to breathe, and let's uncover where your income is getting stuck and build a strategy to create a breathing room that you need to grow. I'm very good at finding money, and I cannot wait to do that for you. I want you to take some time and listen to this because there was a lot packed in here. I gave a lot of stories. I jumped around from different clients, and I want this for you. And having debt not overpower your life is a big thing because most people think it's the tax ban when it's not. Chances are it's some type of debt, or maybe it's accounts receivable, meaning like people owe you money and we want to get in control of that. So I invite you to book a call with me. You can either scan this wonderful QR code, which I'm freaking excited about, or you can type in this link so that we can talk. And what will happen is on this call, we're just going to have fun. We're just going to talk about different things that are happening in your business and just try to see of what's the next best step because you deserve to have your growing business and I would love to be that support for you. So please enjoy this training. As always, any questions, let me know. And I cannot wait to see you on my calendar. Please come Friday into school. We have another live on Friday. The announcements about it are in the group. So I want you to please come and join. I hope you come. We have a guest speaker coming as well this month. Look out for the schedule. I'm really, really excited about it. It's our tax manager. He's coming in to talk about things. You're not going to want to miss that. So make sure to come and join and feel free to bring your questions and your listening tools of your ears. Thank you for listening and let's talk soon.